will be taking you through a list of events that we have today. Without going any further, I would like to introduce to you my high table. So the first we have is the Director of Science, Technology, Innovation from the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, Mr. Mukhtar Dabo. Please give him a round of applause. And then next to him we have Dr. Tiden Jai. She's a lecturer at the University of the Gambia. Please give her a round of applause. Followed by the one and only, our ambassador to the next Einstein Forum, Mr. David Jeng. Please give him a round of applause. Then we have Dr. Ramunjai, who is the Project Lead Medical Research Unit at MRC, the Gambia. Please give her a round of applause. And lastly, but not the least, we have Miss Biran Donde Gillen, she's an ICT consultant at Evolve Consulting Agency. Please give her a round of applause. Thank you. So I'll now do my best to pass on to my colleague, Miss Joy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and welcome everybody to this auspicious gathering, and welcome especially the high table. Before much ado, I would like to recognize the presence of the former Speaker of the House, Fatmata Jahum Pasise. You're highly welcome. And not forgetting some of our entrepreneurs, Mr. Aliu Jalo, Fatou Sise, and a lot more of you that are here today. My name is Joy, and I'll be co-hosting this event with Ms. Jain, and it's indeed a pleasure being here. So we welcome all of you to the next Einstein Forum, and it's indeed a very important forum where we have youngsters being encouraged to take up the science field. So a round of applause for all those people that have been thriving. So we'll just quickly have individual prayer, and we'll further after that. A moment of silence, please. Thank you very much, and welcome. The event starts now.
Honorable members of the government, dear colleagues from the academic and scientific world, distinguished guests, welcome to the Next Ancient Forum 2018 African Science Week. We are particularly delighted that this event is happening in your beautiful country. But before we start, let me share with you why this African Science Week. As you may know, the Next Ancient Forum is an initiative of the African Institute for Mathematical Science. The Next Ancient Forum is actually part of an ecosystem of transformation that has been put in place by AIMS. Within this ecosystem of transformation, we are delivering master classes in mathematics. Those master classes are being delivered in 6 African countries, including South Africa, Senegal, Ghana, Cameroon, Rwanda, and Tanzania. Attached to those centers, we have research centers that are managed or led by research chairs. We also have an AIMS industry initiatives, which provide industry linkage. So basically, our students that are following this path are expected to enter industry if they are no longer interested in doing research. We also have the Quantum Leap Africa, which is a research center in quantum science. Finally, we have also launched a gender-responsive teacher training program. But the question we have been asking ourselves, especially through the Next Ancient initiatives, it's how to engage young children in science, how to engage adults in science, how to get more interaction along the education value chain. How do we connect the many dots along the education value chain? At NEF, we do believe in science-driven innovation, which also makes room for social and indigenous innovation. We do believe that it's the combination of those two types of innovation that will help the continent to transition to a knowledge-led economy. But this started with very young people, requiring to rethink how we learn up to the postdoctoral level. We have been thinking about this since 2017, and therefore we launched the first edition of the African Science Week in 13 countries. This was a great success. African Science Week is unique because it's led by NEF ambassadors. Each of them submit a personalized proposal which will constitute the basis of the African Science Week program. This year, the African Science Week will take place in 35 countries between the months of September and December. I won't take much more of your time. If you want to learn more about the Next Gen Forum, feel free to visit our website, www.nef.org, and you will also learn more about the upcoming NEF Global Gathering to be held in Kenya in 2020. Now, I would like to end by thanking all the NEF ambassadors and their team, and also all our sponsors for making this event possible. Especially thanks to Johnson & Johnson for their great support to this initiative. Thank you very much.
So I'd like to say that was a great video by the NEF Vice President, Dr. Yusuf Tarawali. Science is a very innovative subject. And I think as young people in the audience, I think it's a great thing for you guys to continue to embark on. And I know that we have some winners soon. At the end, we'll know who they are. But without further ado, what I'd like to do is invite to you the NEF ambassador in the Gambia, Mr. David Jeng. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Seinabu. Thank you, Joy. Thank you to all of you that are here today joining us with the Africa Science Week. To the high table, we thank you for honoring our invitation, and thank you for accepting to receive the award. And welcome to all of you. I greet you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Today is a very important day in the celebration of the Africa Science Week, because today is the day that we celebrate women. And we know across the years, women have been ignored in the field of science and technology. But we believe that we want to change the narratives now. And how we want to change the narratives is to put women on top of our agenda. And I could see in our midst, we have the former Speaker of the House. Honorable, thank you for coming, who is a woman who is so passionate about developing women in this country. The Africa Science Week is an initiative of the Next Einstein Forum. And the Next Einstein Forum is an initiative of the Robert Bosch Foundation and Africa Institute for Mathematical Sciences, which is aimed at promoting science, technology, and innovation across the continent. And in this week, we have had a series of activities. And we started the week with a press conference where we invited the press and we spoke about what we want to do, which was held at the Ministry of Higher Education, thanks to Mutar and the Minister for the support that they have given us, where we had all stakeholders and we spoke about the activities. Next, we head to the University of the Gambia, where we had a science expo. And this science expo, I was amazed, and I think if you go through the photos, you will see me. That was my first time holding fire in my hands without crying. And these experiments were done by university students, who I feel that growing up from the university where I got my degree, I felt that if they are given opportunities, if they are given the right tools, if they are given the right environments, they will really create innovative products. And there we also saw that some of the students were building rockets inside the University of the Gambia. It really touched my heart. And the next program we had, which was the second day, we started a hackathon. And the hackathon, I could see so much passion being driven into young entrepreneurs, young innovators, trying to solve the biggest challenges that we face. One of the groups was developing a cryptocurrency where payment systems can be done across the country. The other group was working on a transport app where the GTSC will be helped so that people from all over the country can book their tickets and use the transport system that we have in Gambia. The other group was also developing a gaming platform where you can study maths and science. And in that gaming platform, you'll be able to learn maths and science and still have fun, which was a very amazing platform. And the final group developed an app where parents can monitor their school children whilst they're at school. And the app will be able to give you update on news feeds, what is going on in school, whether your student is present or absent. And it was an amazing, amazing competition where I felt that these young people had all the things that they need to really solve the biggest challenges that we're facing. Recently, I saw a report from the Forbes platform, which says that Gambia was among the countries that are with least environment in doing business. And which is why it was a very touching article. I think Aliu forced me all the time to read it, where I said, you know, I'm not interested, because I felt, you know, it really didn't really depict, you know, the work that we are doing across the ecosystem. But if you look at it, it's the reality that we're facing. Gambia is among the worst countries in doing business, which is why one of the things that we encouraged in the hackathon was to have an entrepreneurship boot camp, where these young people will understand that their ideas that they have, they need an entrepreneurship backing to really turn their ideas into reality and to create that economic growth and job creations that we need in the country. So this is something that we did also, and we want the young innovators to really find problems to the biggest challenges that the government is facing. And we believe that this initiative is not just for the government, although the government plays a key role, but we want to create an environment where young people will be given the opportunity to address these challenges just as the government is doing. And the fifth event, we had the robotics. The robotics was also another amazing competition. That was the hackathon. The robotics was also amazing competition where younger generation were building robots. You could see how engaging it was. Them building robots and driving the robots and creating a competition amongst them where it will really push a spirit of winning amongst themselves. And this was also amazing. And then we will be giving prizes today. The hackathon winners, the second runner-up will be going with an Arduino set, which they can use to continue their career. And the winner will be going with the Raspberry Pi. And then also, the kids will be going home with the Jangal tablet, which they can use to also further their educational career. This is an important initiative to the next Einstein Forum, because we believe in the next Einstein Forum, we need to collaborate with partners and the ecosystem to ensure that we drive innovation, technology along the value chain. And I would like to thank our partners who really worked all through with us, and most especially the volunteers who helped us to really put this thing together. My background is not science nor technology, but I was able to gather a team with the expertise, and we all worked together to achieve a common goal. And I would like to thank the Minister of Higher Education, Sakina, Educate, HAMSIS, Give One Project, Startup Incubator, Hack Weekend, and most especially to Point Click Technologies. Point Click has been the backbone of everything that we do. If not for Point Click and Johnson & Johnson and Next Einstein Forum, today this event will not be successful. So most especially, I would like to thank everybody that is here today, and I would like you to join us in the journey for us to create the next Einstein. And today, we have people here who are up there and who can be the next Einstein. Einstein is a German, and I believe that as well. We can create our own Einsteins. We can create the next Tidanjai. We can create the next Biran. We can create the next Dr. Ramunjai, and I believe that we can leave the legacy that the next Yahar has built. On that note, I would like to thank you all, and thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr. David Jeng, for that brilliant presentation. We would like to recognize the presence of the late Yahar Freya Njai's family. Please, if you are here, let's see your hands up. Can you wave? A round of applause for them for bringing up a brilliant late scientist. Next on the agenda, we now invite the representative of the Higher Education, Research, Science, and Technology, Director Mukhtar Dabo, to come and give a keynote speech. Welcome on board.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great pleasure to be part of this Einstein Forum, Africa Science Week. Before I start, I really want us to thank really the organizers, the ambassador here present, and the team for really making the work of the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science, and Technology easy for us. This is what we should have been doing. It is good to see the individuals and the private sector and all the entities are coming in to complement government efforts at promoting the acculturation of science, technology, and innovation in the country. So please, let's give David and team one more round of applause, please. Before I start my statement, this is actually a day for women in STEM. So we are celebrating successful women that have contributed to STEM in this country and that could serve as role models for future generation of female scientists and engineers in this country. I just want to throw a countermeasure to the Forbes article that the ambassador have talked about. I think it is up to us to accept what the world wishes to label us. Now, if you are in business in this country, fortunately I've been an entrepreneur to some extent, it is very unfair to say that the Gambia is one of the worst places to do business. I think that is a far cry from reality. This government and even the previous government have been working tirelessly to make sure the Gambia is a haven for investment and for businesses to thrive. It is one of the countries where setting up a business is quite very easy. Government has set up a single window opportunity for you to register businesses. And new entrepreneurs are exempt from paying tax for a particular period of time. So with all the online noises, I haven't come across one single article that challenges the Forbes article, which is really crazy, really. Anyway, that's a thing for the business policymakers to handle. But I think all the metrics that have been used by Forbes aren't quite right. Now, coming back to the business of the day, this day is supposed to be a day when we celebrate the role of women in STEM, and we celebrate those who have given their time and effort and significant amounts of their lives dedicated to STEM and its promotion in this country. Now, I want to throw some light to the efforts of the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science, and Technology. We have been aware of the low levels of participation of women in STEM. And this goes back to the basic and secondary education level, where careers in STEM begins their formation. I can report that far from policy benchmarks of 60% admission of STEM graduates or STEM students compared to other fields We currently have a rate of 12%, which is far from the benchmark of 60%. We want to have at least, to train the required critical mass of scientists, technologists, and engineers, we need to enroll at least 60% of students in the STEM fields in tertiary and higher education institutions. But as we speak, that is 12%, and even amongst that 12%, only about 30% are female, which is alarming. Women constitute almost half of all enrollments from basic, secondary, and tertiary or higher education levels. It is alarming if they do not constitute more than half of the enrollments in the STEM fields. What the ministry is doing right now is we are working in partnership with UNESCO as part of the STEM and Gender Advancement Program, SAGA, where we study gender disaggregated data and we try to investigate what are some of the challenges inherent to providing equal opportunities for both men and women in STEM fields through equal provision of equal opportunities for both men and women. And we're looking at what are some of the challenges inherent to women in their careers, in STEM careers. These are ongoing efforts by the ministry. I'm also happy to say that the ministry has not also relented. We have the Gambia government scholarship, which provides tuition for students at the UTG and other tertiary institutions. Now, priority is given to STEM fields. The Scholarship Advisory Board, in its role to ensure equal opportunities, have highly prioritized science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in its works to ensure that tertiary and higher education is available and affordable to all Gambians. In its selection criteria, students in the medicine and in the sciences are accorded the highest priority. And it is not just in the sciences, particular attention is paid to women in STEM. Now, this is supposed to be a day for celebrating the successful women that have been in the STEM field so that they can serve as role models for future generations of young women in STEM. So without much further ado, I would like to join my colleagues to recognize the roles of these women and how much they have contributed to STEM in this country. And we will listen to how much they can serve as an inspiration for the future generation of Gambians in STEM. So on that note, I would like to thank David, the Next Einstein Forum, and all its partners that have contributed immensely to making this Africa Science Week a great success. And we will look forward to working with the team well into the future. I thank you all for your kind attention and have a pleasant evening.
Thank you for that, Mr. Mukhtar Dabo. That was a very innovative speech in regards to science and women. They do say who runs the world, girls. So at the moment, science, we are trying to take over, especially with our high table full of educated and lovely women that we are proud to have in our presence. So now we'll go with our next statement. But before I do that, I'll have to introduce her for you so you guys know a little bit about her. So she goes by the name of Ms. Tidanjai Silla. Ms. Tidanjai Silla is amongst the most prominent Gambian women in the field of mathematical sciences. She did her Bachelor's of Science degree in mathematics and minored in economics honors at the University of the Gambia from 2007 to 2011. So I won't like to speak much. I'll let her come on stage and grace this audience and do the rest for herself. So please, guys, give her a round of applause.
Thank you so much, Madam. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great honor and privilege to grace this occasion. I'm not going to give a speech. I would like to share my experience and the work I do with you people. It might serve as an inspiration to some of you sitting here. First and foremost, I am a wife to a very hardworking man who supported me in everything that I do. I am a mother to two beautiful kids. I have a special affection for science and technology. It lives in me. I walk with it. I sleep with it. It's part of my life. That's why I am so much thrilled to be with you here to speak to you about my work. Where I start, connected to STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and my dreams for the future. I am a mathematician. Yes, I am. And I believe some of you will be wondering, where did she get her inspiration from? Given the challenges a girl child faces in the past. I got my inspiration from my own father, who spent his entire life teaching science, from the primary to secondary, to the college level, and to university level, until his retirement. Since I was at the age of 10, I was a very good maths and science student. I can fully remember I was awarded an outstanding maths and quantitative aptitude. We call it quantitative aptitude before, but now they said quantitative reasoning student at Kabafira Primary School, where I did my primary level. Since then, I focused more on sciences and mathematics. I enrolled at the Gambia College for higher teacher's certificate, where I majored mathematics. Upon completion, I followed my father's footsteps, going for teaching as my career. I taught at Bottrop Senior Secondary School and Brikama Upper Basic School for 2 years. After 2 years, I enrolled at the University of the Gambia, again majoring in mathematics and minor economics. Upon completion, I worked at Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology as an intern under Planning and Research Department. Then to the University of the Gambia as a graduate assistant in mathematics. I got admission for MSc in mathematics or MSc in mathematical modeling through a joint program by the University of the Gambia and University of Gaston-Berger, St. Louis, Senegal. In that MSc program, I was the only female graduate. Presently, I am a PhD candidate in applied mathematics at Gatsombersi University, focusing on applications of stochastic processes, which I am hoping to finish by the end of this year. I am currently working with Women in Science to mentor young women that are interested in science and mathematics, particularly the school-going girls and first-year university students. I also worked with Starling Consortium, where our focus is to develop young people with skills in science, engineering, technology, and innovation. I strongly believe that our country presently needs some scientists, more scientists, engineers, doctors, innovators to address some social challenges. This would not be possible if our young generation did not take STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, seriously. I would urge the citizens as well as policymakers to put STEM a priority. Students of the university, other young people present, those who are with us through social media, science, innovation, and entrepreneurship is the only way out to make our country a great nation and to create wealth for its citizenry. Einstein says, if you do what you always do, you always get what you want. Therefore, let's use the power of science, innovation, and entrepreneurship to develop products and services that can usher the need positive change we all yearn for. You have amazing young people in the Gambia who are prepared to leave an outstanding legacy in STEM. All they need is guidance. I urge relevant people to help these highly creative young people to realize and maximize their full potential in order for us to have next Einstein, next Steve Biko, the next Alibaba, the next Bill Gates, and the next Mohamed Dia from the Gambia. At this point, I would like to thank NEF for organizing African Science Week in the Gambia. Such programs should be sustained and continue to inspire young scientists, engineers, innovators, and entrepreneurs. Special thanks to Mr. David Jeng, NEF Country Ambassador, and the organizing team for making this event a success. I thank you all.
Thank you very much for that brilliant speech. And of course, she made mention that women especially should be encouraged to take up the STEM education. So I hope those of us that are scientists and innovators here will take that further. I would like to recognize the presence of one of the sponsors of this particular event. Menge, you're welcome. She's here representing Point Click. A round of applause, please. Next on the agenda, I will be introducing Mrs. Biran Donde Gillen, but before that, I would like to give a brief of who Mrs. Biran is and her achievements. Biran Donde Gillen is one of the most prominent Gambian women in the tech industry. She did her bachelor's degree in computer science first class at Middlesex University in North London, United Kingdom, from 1998 to 2001. She did her master's degree in computer networks with a distinction at the same university in London, United Kingdom. She has over 15 years of experience in both Thank you. She has over 15 years of experience in both technical and administrative work. She started her career as a freelance ICT consultant from 2002 to 2007, with vast experience in consultancy, application and web development, requirements analysis and design, computer networks, development and maintenance of database systems, strategic IT management, and software engineering. She has exceptional skills as a good communicator. She is a highly motivated individual, strong interpersonal and analytical skills, a proven leader and a team player with good organizational, coordination, and management skills, which has given her a cross-cutting edge to serve in numerous positions in both the local and international community. She successfully facilitated and organized the joining of the Gambian government to the Government Advisory Committee within ICANN. She is also the current chair of the National Internet Governance Forum Steering Committee, chair of ICT core team for the Youth Empowerment Project, key player in the development and validation of various technology policies in the Gambia, such as NICI policy and national ICT policy. Vice President of Information Technology Association of the Gambia, commonly called ITAG. Secretary to the Executive of the Serekunda Internet Exchange Point. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause that I want you to accompany it with, we now welcome Biran Dondenjai. Welcome.
Thank you, Joy. I don't think I can speak more than what Joy has said. It's a very tough thing to follow. But I'm not going to give a speech. I'm going to share a story with you, my story. I've shared this story once before, a few weeks ago, at an event. It was a youth camp in Kotu, and I wanted to share this story with you. Short story. I've compacted my life story into this short story. So I didn't really want to study technology when I went into university. In fact, I wanted to be a doctor. And then I wanted to be a lawyer. So I kept changing my mind every few weeks what I wanted to do. But what I did know is whatever I wanted to do, it had to do with interacting with people, because that was one of the things that I just loved. I love talking to people, and I love telling stories. So going into high school, I was pretty good at maths, nothing exceptional, but I was okay. So when I finished high school, I applied to Middlesex University. Because I came out with very good grades in high school, so they offered me a scholarship to study computer science. And I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. Okay, I'll give it a try. But it wasn't really something I thought about. My first year in university was the scariest of my life, because I was expected to know programming. I had never seen a program in my life. I was expected to do a C++ program. I said, what is that? I've never seen this in my life. I can't do this. So I decided to my mom, I can't do computer science. It's not for me. No way. So I decided to quit on the first day of. And I think my driving force in my life has been my mother. She has been that one person that just keeps telling me, you can do it. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. She was there when I was doing my degree. She was there when I got married and had to go back for my master's. She was my full-time babysitter. She was there throughout. So she's been my backbone. I'm sure you see my little daughter running around. So I'm trying to follow her footsteps, because this is what she did with me. She took me around. When you see my mother in my school, you would think she was one of the teachers, because she was constantly there, constantly watching. So involved in everything that I did in school, whether it was nursery school, whether it was primary school, whether it was high school. I mean, even in university, she flew all the way to London to be with me my first year. So, yes. So I think what Tida said about support is important. And not only with our spouses, with our family members. Support is key. And we women are very emotional beings. We need that support. We need to feel that love, that someone is there for me and wants me to do this and is ready to push me all the way. We women need that. And you know, when I talk about women in STEM, I get very emotional. I get very passionate because it's something that, like Tida said, it's in her. It's in me. It's something that I love to talk about. It's something that I love to do. My assistant is standing next to me. So it's something that I love. And you know, I want women to feel that they shouldn't be tied down by marriage or by children or by anything else. For me, these are excuses. They're excuses because it can be done. I have 3 children. One will be graduating high school this year. Yes, I'm that old. He'll be graduating from Form 5 this year, and I have an 11-year-old that's sitting right there, and then I have a 4-year-old. And it's a juggle, and it's not easy. It's not meant to be easy. But we women are naturally multitasking individuals. We're on the phone, we're cooking dinner, we're doing chemistry homework, we're doing this. That's the way God made us. So we need to use that and exploit that. Let's not be ashamed of that. That is our strength. So for me, when I went into university to do my master's, we had 9 ladies in our course. Computer networks, hardcore networks, cabling, you name it. We had only 9 ladies. The course was for 18 months. 2 of us graduated. Everyone else ran away. 2 of us graduated. So we shouldn't always think about taking the easy way out. I'm not saying the other areas of administration or management is easy. It's not. It's not easy. But let's challenge ourselves. Let's do that little bit extra to be where our counterparts are. We can do it. The next Einstein can come from Gambia. Tida's a mathematician. A mathematician. A female Gambian mathematician. I am impressed. She needs a round of applause. So, and Tida is married with 2 kids. So how are you different from Tida? If Tida can do it, why can't you? And I have met some brilliant women. Joy mentioned that I chair the ICT core team for YEP. So YEP is the Youth Empowerment Project. It started last year, and it was targeting the illegal migration that was happening. And even though Gambia is a small country, it contributed to 40% of the illegal migrants that were going through the back way. So this project was initially set up to help the youth to stay back. And we had a saying that says, Tuki wala teki fi. And then we said, teki fi. And we need to teki fi. And we can teki fi. Both men and women. We can do it. I mean, David mentioned a program that came out of the hackathon solution. And I'm excited because I already know someone that would be interested in that solution. A school management system. We have schools. They have students. They have parents. They want to have report cards. They want to know what their child is doing. Everyone has a smartphone these days. Our grandmothers have smartphones. They know how to use it. They know how to WhatsApp and Viber and all of that. So everyone can have an app that will tell you how your daughter or your son is doing in school. Are they attending classes? Are they taking their tests? Are they submitting their homework? This is something every school needs. So why can't a school take that up and buy up that solution? Why can't we use it in our public school system and offer it to our parents? This is a solution. So what I urge also, not just you students that come up with these ideas, we also have to support you and ensure that it's not a dead end. When you come up with these solutions, we need to help you implement these solutions and use them in our everyday lives. Then you will see the fruition of your labor. So I don't want to bore you too much with my stories. I'm a storyteller. Anyone who knows me knows I love telling stories. But I just want to part with this. I started traveling with my daughter when she was 6 months old because I wanted to show her technology at an early age, women in the field at an early age, because I want her to see that it's okay for her to do what everybody else is doing. She shouldn't be limited by anything. And that is how we should raise our children. No barriers, whether it's culture, whether it's faith, whether it's tradition, whatever it may be, whether it's social, there shouldn't be any barriers. If you can think it, you should be able to do it. And that's what I want to leave you with. If you can think it, if you can think it, are you guys hungry? I want to hear it with some oomph. If you can think it, you can do it. Better. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful and powerful speech, Dr. Biran Donde Gillen. So she said some promising things, stuff that I can take for myself as a young woman to continue the multitasking, because that's what we're great at. They say women can multitask, right? So, you know, you can balance that as well as being, you know, encouraging women empowerment. Is the mic on? I think so. Okay, we're back again. So yeah, just she said some very innovating and powerful words, which I think we should all take home with and do some use of it. So without further ado, I would like to call on the last speaker, which is Dr. Ramunjai. But before I do that, I'll be following the trend of introducing and, you know, so you guys can know who she is and what she has done. So Dr. Ramunjai is a Gambian-born, UK-trained gastroenterologist and hepatologist, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, who is current group head of the Gambia Hepatitis Intervention Study, a World Health Organization funded program. She started her career with a study, GHIS in brackets, she started her career with a BSc honors degree in zoology, followed by a primary medical degree at the College of Medicine, University of Lagos, Nigeria. This was followed by nearly 2 decades in the UK, where she pursued general professional training in internal medicine, higher specialist training in I can't say this word. I'm not going to make a fool out of myself. Yes, there you go. And hepatology. I said that one right, I think. And a PhD in viral immunology. And, sorry, these words are long for me. Like, I'm a media person, so all these words are like confusing. So, apologies. So I'll continue. Yes, as an MRC clinical research training fellow. She worked as a substantive NHS consultant for 3 years before taking up the present post. She is a fellow of the Royal College of Physicians. So without further ado, I'll allow her to do the rest of the talking because I'm making mistakes. So please bring Mr. Dr. Ramunjai. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Before I start, are there any people from Gambia High School, Gambia Senior Secondary School here? Hands up. Anybody from St. Joseph's High School? Excellent. Any people from Banjul here? Banjul? There. Okay. Right. Good evening, everybody. And I would like to thank the NEF Foundation and David Jeng here, who is the NEF ambassador, for inviting me. Like the previous speakers before me, I am going to try to tell you a bit about myself and hopefully show you that any one of you in this room can actually follow my path and surpass it. And also, I would like to tell you about my colleague with whom we had a formidable team, Dr. Yahar Njai, who sadly left us early and suddenly, but she had such an impactful life that I would like to tell you about her at the end. I know her brother Saul is here, and I would like to tell you about her, because even though she's no longer with us, I think we can all be inspired with what she did. Now, I'll tell you what gastroenterology is. So I'm a doctor. I'm a medical doctor. I'm a practicing medical doctor. I'm a specialist in gastroenterology and hepatology. And all gastroenterology means is a disease of the digestive system. So I study the digestive system. Hepatology means diseases of the liver. So I'm a specialist of the diseases of the digestive system and the liver. So I do endoscopies. I use cameras to look inside people's stomachs to see if they have ulcers or not, using using an endoscopy, which is a camera that you actually put through, through people's stomachs. So can you just stop the presentation and I'll come back to that, because I have to start it from the beginning. Yeah, I'm going to come back to that. So I'll tell you about my journey, because not very many years ago, I was sitting here, like where you are sitting, and I went to Gambia High School. I went to Gambia High School. Yahar went to St. Joseph's. I went to Gambia High School, and from Gambia High School, I went to Nigeria, as you've been told already. I started a science degree, and in fact, showed such an interest in science that my supervisors, my prof, wanted me to go ahead. I was offered a PhD, actually, straight after my BSc degree in science. But I was fascinated by the human body. I was fascinated by medicine. So I went across from the science faculty to the medical school, where I graduated as a medical doctor. Did my house job at the Lagos University College of Medicine. I came back and worked for a year at the then Royal Victoria Hospital, and it's now called the EFSCH. So I worked there for a year, after which I went to the UK. So in the UK, I was in the West Midlands, in Birmingham, for about over a decade, actually. So I did a specialization in internal medicine. I specialized in gastroenterology. I did a super specialization in liver diseases. And because of my interest in science, I was awarded a fellowship to do a PhD in immunology. Now, what immunology is basically how the body actually fights infection. So immunology is very important, and really you cannot do medicine now without knowing immunology. So I did all that, and I worked as a specialist in the UK, in the National Health Service, before coming back. When I announced that I was going to come back, everybody was like, what? Why would you want to do that? I mean, you've got an excellent job. You've got an excellent, highly paid, permanent job. Why would you want to go back? And I said, well, I want to go back home, because I think that I should take my skills and my knowledge and everything that I have acquired back home to try and make a difference. To try and make a difference. Now, again, I'm going to ask another question, because this is one of the reasons why I came back. Hands up, anybody who has heard about the hepatitis B virus? Okay, a lot of you. So you will know, those of you who have heard of it, that hepatitis B virus is a major problem in the Gambia. And I came back because everybody said, well, hepatitis B problem is too much of a problem. We really cannot do much about it. It's too difficult. And I said, well, we can start somewhere. And together with Yahar, we thought, okay, first of all, let's find out how big this problem is. So we started a project whereby we screened about 15,000 Gambians in the Combos, in the West Coast region up to the Fonies. And we found that 1,500 Gambians were carrying this virus. That means 1 in 10. And we also found out that actually under 50 years, most of the people with liver cancer and liver disease had this because of hepatitis B, which they didn't even know they were carrying. So our project, which I set up with Yahar, was the first ever project in sub-Saharan Africa to actually start a hepatitis B program. So we have identified people who need treatment. We have shown that the treatment can be done here. We have shown that the testing can be done here. Yahar had developed a new test that was not being done in this country before. I sent her, when she went to France to do the training for that, and when she came back, she trained 5 people who are still carrying this work despite the fact that she's no longer with us. So we're now advising the government to make sure that we take this out to the country, test everybody, and treat those that need to be treated. I'm also involved in developing a postgraduate training program for the medical school here in the Gambia, because we have a medical school, but unfortunately, we don't have that many specialists. So I've teamed up with other colleagues to do something about that. So I think that's enough for me. I just want to go through these slides and tell you a bit about who Yahar was, and I guarantee you that you will be inspired by her life story. Can I just go back to the start? To the start of the slides, please. If you can just start from the beginning. Is it stuck? Can you start from the beginning? Can you just close it and maybe open it again? We have many IT people here. Okay, so who's going to be doing the slides for me? Okay, okay. Is that the start? Are you going to be running the slides for me? Right. Okay. So shall we have the first slide? So this is Yahar. So Yahar was a scientist, actually. She was a biomedical scientist. Who was, I don't maybe Saul can tell us, but she was known as Majaga. So that was what many people called her. She was a very, very enthusiastic, highly motivated mother. She was a mother of 3 children. And next slide, please. So this was her around 1985. This does not work. Just say, can you? Okay. Is it stuck? It's okay. I'll carry on and speak to you about her because I knew her so well. I actually, Har went to St. Joseph's High School where she always had an interest in science. So her interest in science started way back in high school. And I actually met her for the first time after she had done a science degree. She worked in MRC for a bit, and then she did a degree in science, in biological sciences. after which she did a master's degree. She went, her science degree she did in the UK. She did a master's degree and then went on to do a PhD in virology. And I met her when I came back to set up this project, this hepatitis project. And she was introduced to me by another scientist, Dr. Sabel Jallo, who's not here, who's currently in South Africa. And we sat down and talked about how we can develop science, how we can mentor young people who are interested in science, quite apart from setting up our project. And really, she was an inspirational person. She was highly, highly skilled, and yet extremely down to earth. She was not only a very, very good and excellent scientist, but she was also a fashion icon. I mean, her loved to dress up, and for us in the group, she was always coming up with new styles and new fashions. She loved her children. Just keep going, please, because, you know, because I think I've gone quite far. So that was when she was a graduate scientist. Keep going, just keep going. That's her. That was typical her. She was fun-loving. She liked to laugh and to make people laugh. Next slide. She traveled a lot. Next slide. And went through. Yeah. So that's Sabel that I spoke to you about, another Gambian scientist. Next slide. Just keep moving. She's traveled a lot to South Africa, to Antwerp, around the world. In Tokyo. So that's her in the end here with the group that I work with. Keep going, please, keep going. That way, you're going back, keep going forward. Yeah. So that's the two of us. We used to go, and now we still continue. So we used to go up country. So we don't just do clinics in Fajara or Banjul. So we have portable equipment and portable laboratories, and we used to go to Keneba, Farafenye, Bansang, Basse. This picture was taken actually in Keneba, where we did outreach clinics, and we had our mobile labs, and she was able to do some of the tests that we needed out there. Yeah, that's her out in MRC Fajara. In the office, always the office jester. Now, the other thing about her is that apart from being a scientist, she was an author. She liked reading to her children. And when she looked around, she didn't find many books. You know, she didn't find many books that told our stories. And in typical her fashion, she didn't sit down and complain. She decided to do something about it. So she started writing children's books. And she had these books, Samba and Kumba, was available actually on Amazon and could be in a download version. Next. Yeah, this was another one of her books, City Boy, Sansebe Mata Geja, which some of you know about. Yeah. Yeah. Like, you know, ever the fashion icon. Yeah, she was, what can I say? She was always smiling. This was her beloved sister, Ami, with who, you know, she was very close. Before her passing, sadly, she had just had a new job as the executive director of the country coordinating mechanism for the Global Fund, this was her with the U.S. I think ambassador or representative here. Yeah, next. She was a mother of 3 children whom she doted on very well. These were her pride and joy. Yes, and sadly, on this fateful day, last slide, there was another one, but I can't find it. So she sadly passed away very suddenly, very unexpectedly. This is what Allah said would happen. We've had to accept it, but she's had an extraordinary life that I think a lot of you in this room can learn from, can be inspired by, and really we will never forget her in our team. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ramunjai. Can we please have a moment of silence so we can pray for late Harnjai in our own individual ways? May God answer all of our prayers. Next on the agenda, we'll now have the presentation of awards, part of our main reasons for gathering here today. So, how many of you are ready to be awarded the best of the bestest tonight? Let me see you give a round of applause for yourselves. I can hear you guys. I can feel the excitement. Thank you very much. So before much ado, I would like to call on Umi. Can you kindly bring the awards for the awardees? We'll now invite Mr. Mukhtar Dabo from the Ministry of Higher Education to award this fabulous, not just distinguished, but these women have worked hard to make sure that they've gotten to the level they are in terms of science, technology. Please give them a whole round of applause. We now call on Tiranjai Silla. There's a saying that says behind every successful man, there is a woman. But this time around, behind every successful woman, there lies a man. Thank you very much. We now call on Mrs. Biran Donde Gillen. Mrs. Biran Donde Gillen. Congratulations.
This one is going up.
So this time around, it's not just behind every successful man or successful woman, but behind every inspiration that a mother thrives to achieving a certain goal, her baby is always there to support her. A round of applause for that. Quickly recognizing the presence of the director of GAP. You're welcome, Madam Ramatulai. We now call on Dr. Ramunjai. She is a brilliant woman. She's just not You know, she's just not a woman, but she's a woman of substance. She's gone far and wide, and she have decided to come and implement not just any type of medical activities, but the original of all. We will continue to support our own scientists, whether we like it or not. A round of applause for that. Thank you very much. I now hand the mic over to the host, Ms. Jai.
Okay, so we do have one more awardee that we need to hand out. So, Dr. Ramunjai, can you please do us the honor? Oh, okay, actually, yeah, one of the family members, actually. Suleiman Frianjai, may you please come on board to take this award for the late Dr. Had Frianjai. Dr. Had is no longer with us, but her presence is still around with the family and the astonishing work that she has done throughout her career. Oops. Please give them a round of applause once more. Thank you very much. Thank you. May her soul continue to rest in peace. Amen. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now next on the agenda is the presentation of the awards to the winners of the robotics competition. So that's all the students out in the audience. We now will find out who won. So are we ready to know the winners? Okay, so can I introduce the winning team for the robotics competition is Team B. Give them a round of applause, please. Where is Team B? Okay, so before you guys come, okay, they're all coming out. Can I have the presenter, David Jeng, to hand out these awards to Dembasilla. Which one is Dembasilla? Okay, he's right there. So do present his award.
Where's their mentor? I think your mentor is there. Oh, the mentor.
Oh, okay. Even better. Okay, so we'll have the mentor present the award to Dembasilla. So the award is a Jangalma tablet. How amazing is that? Give them a round of applause, guys. They tried and they won. Yeah. Next up is Asiatu Jame. Give her a round of applause. A young lady. Yes, and pictures are done. Okay. Next up is Hassan So. Give him a round of applause too. They've done really well. They won the robotics competition. No. Yeah. Yes, and last but not least, we have Fatu K. Silla. Give her a round of applause. Thank you for that. I'll now pass over to my beautiful colleague, Miss Joy. Where is she? Oh, there you are. Okay.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jine. To the winners of the hackathon. Okay, so today, please, I am learning new words, yeah? So apologies if I don't pronounce the words rightly. We have Team Common Sense. Where are they? Yeah. So we have Dr. Ramunjai. We have Dr. Ramunjai now to present the awards of the hackathon. Is the mentor around? So the first runner-up, we have Team Warriors. I have Team Code Warriors.
Okay, Code Warriors.
A round of applause for them, please. They've done absolutely well. Congratulations. Team?
Congratulations, guys and girl and lady. So, okay, we're now going to announce the winners. We already know their names. Team Common Sense, congratulations, and give them a round of applause. Yeah, you do that one, that's fine. I have no clue. Okay. So thank you for that. Congratulations once again to the winners of the competitions and our distinguished, humble, lovely ladies on our high table. Let's give everyone one more round of applause, please. I think they deserve it. Thank you. So we are now coming close to the end of the program. It's a shame, but I think we have achieved a lot. We've learned a lot, and we will definitely go home with innovative and promising words from everyone today. Well, tonight is now, you know. Anyways, so I would like to invite Miss Umi Sen, if she's around, to give out the vote of thanks by the organizing committee, and she's also a part of the committee. So please, Umi Sen, where are you? Is she behind me? Okay, great. Come on stage and do your thing.
Thank you very much, Ms. Senabunjai, and of course, our able MCs. Joy, thank you for being with us. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the High Table, Director of Science and Technology, of Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, our able guests this evening, NEF Ambassador for the Gambia, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, heads of the various senior secondary schools, students, participants, members of the organizing committee of the NEF Science 2018, of course, volunteers, partners, supporters, implementing supporters as well, who have contributed in one way or the other towards the success of the event. I welcome you all once again to this auspicious occasion of the Women's Spotlight session. Today is a very important session, of course, to celebrate the brilliant, of course, innovative women in the Gambia who have worked relentlessly in the area of sciences. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not do justice without acknowledging the efforts of our able leadership, Mr. David Jeng, who is a team ambassador for the Gambia Next Einstein Forum. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Jeng has been a very innovative young Gambian who is out there to promote science and technology, and of course leading out the way to the discovery of science and technology in the Gambia. Thank you for coming up with this brilliant idea, showcasing out, of course giving out the platform for young Gambians to showcase out the skills. It has manifested in all the events that has been hosted during the week. Thank you for the organizers who have made this event a success, because without them, we wouldn't have been here. They have rendered all their efforts and, of course, supporting in all ways to make sure this event is a success. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would also like to give a special thanks and appreciation to the implementing partners and main sponsors of the Africa Science Week 2018. And the special thanks goes to Point Click Technology, the CEO of Point Click Technology, Mr. Malikan, for investing his resources in the young innovative minds in the Gambia. Thank you for the support, and thank you for being with us. Special thanks also goes to Johnson & Johnson, the Next Einstein Forum, of course the Give One Project, Hackathon, the Give One Project, HAMSIS, MRC, the Gambia, Educate and Sakina, Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, and other implementing partners that have given way to the success of this event. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the organizing committee of the Africa Science Week, we would like to say a very big thank you to all supporting partners and supporting and implementing partners towards the success of the event. It has been a very hectic week-long event, and we have already recorded a great success. And thanks for all supporters, and thank you to all the NEF ambassador for the Gambia for coming up with this initiative. Without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to say thank you very much for all of you for coming and making this event a success. And more special thanks goes to Paradise Suites Hotel, the STS, for being with us. Of course, our able host, Ms. Senabu Jain, and Joy Wama for being with us. And thank you to all supporters out there. And of course, acknowledging our invitations and making this event a success. So without much ado, on this note, I will say thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Umi. Just a quick reminder. We will be having group photo for those of us interested, and we'll also be having a cocktail and networking, and then we can call it a day. Photo time, who's ready? Who's ready to take photos? No, I can't. You all don't want to take photos?
Yeah, I think the winners and everyone should come and take pictures. Even the ones that didn't win, you're all a part of the winning team. So come on, guys. Let's take a picture.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for staying, and thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed the event.
Banjul, la nga dem. Terminal marché garage bu galen dul.